You would meet professors in crack houses. You'd meet top flight salespeople in crack houses. You'd meet, street hoods in crack houses. You'd meet housewives in crack. You'd meet athletes. They were all there. They'd all go there. And they'd all go there to get high, do their thing, spend a couple hours or an hour or two, whatever. Just crack didn't last up. You get high for about 20 minutes. You'd want more. Perfect. It's perfect. You get super, super high, and your brain just says, more, 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 more. And I saw lives ruined. I had a really good friend. He was a teacher. He was a college teacher. And he met a guy, one of his students. This was in Oakland. His student said, yeah, I'll take you to a cool place. And next thing you know, his life's in the shitter. He's lost everything. He's going through rehab. And it was the 90s. The 90s were dark. They were freaking dark. So this period I'm talking about, the 70s and the 80s, that's when the free speech kind of window was open. But it's all inverse now. So we have this kind of sense that, oh, look at the license. Look at the license we have. Oh, look at this. I can just go over here and click on this and, I can get a live camera shot of, 4 people doing it right now. Wow. Wow, isn't that great? But speak out against something that you feel strongly about, like, say, the expropriation of farms in South Africa. All of a sudden you're looking at being shut down or shadow banned. This is what I'm talking about. So they've given us this kind of arena where we feel like we're theoretically more free, right? It's kind of like moralism and morality versus truth and freedom of expression. So there's been this trade-off. There's been this exchange that's taken place. And it's not, by the way, it is not by chance. It's something that's been engineered, thought out. It's the bread and circus. It's one of the bread and circus pieces that we get. And is it a viable trade-off? I don't think so at all. Do we have to go back to a time where there is no such thing as porn? Do we need stricter laws based on that? Well, good luck on that. Because again, the new porn isn't just what, the old porn is like, it's like soft core now. The new porn is stuff that, people wind up getting killed for. The new porn is the kiddie stuff. The new porn is spirit cooking. That's the new porn. And if you think that they are not trying to normalize that, well, you're strongly mistaken. And think about what the outcome of something like that would be. What would happen if, like, say for instance, go back to 1971. If you described the world today to people in 1971, if you pick somebody up and drop them into, this frog pot, they would, like, first of all, they'd be marveled at shit. They would. They'd be like, what? This is so cool, right? In some ways. And then once they got through the tech threshold and saw what was going on, they would flip their wigs. And be like, you're kidding. This is all available now? Marijuana's legal? I could just go online here and I can just watch 4 people and a dog doing it? It would blow their minds. Well, let's take us now and put us into a potential future 30 years from now, where this whole seamy underbelly of what's going on with kids and spirit cooking and all that stuff becomes the new norm. Or not quite. But think about that. And if that's the case, then how would that reflect upon our ability to speak freely, to speak truth to power? I guarantee you there would be none, because that's how far the extreme would have to go. And the other extreme, which would be the ratcheting down of our rights and the ratcheting down of our ability to speak truth to power, would be nil. It would be non-existent. You see where this is headed? So as we move deeper into this timeline, potential timeline, personal authority, speaking truth to power, the right to speak it, becomes like this. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until there's just a little tiny, tiny piece left. Meanwhile, on the other side, what we perceive to be moral, immoral, the pornographic representation of a certain part of the world, certain part of our experience goes like this. And it's opening up. So this is something to pay attention to. And I just thought it was kind of an interesting juxtaposition of where we are. And, personally, I'll transparency. So like every email, we all go through oh, look at that. Wow, right? But a long time ago, I realized that being engaged and watching that material is so desensitizing. It is so desensitizing that you can't even have like a real intimate relationship with a person. Not that I had any weird things or problems. I didn't have to go to any kind of center or anything along those lines, but I could feel it. And I've always had a pretty good early warning system when it comes to addiction. It's like, oh, no, I'm not going there. I got some self-preservation. Luckily, somewhere inside of me, I have some self-preservation program, which actually works pretty good for the most part. I have to do a serious override in order to get past it. So at that point, at a point in the past, I just said, this stuff is damaging. And it had nothing to do with the morality of who those people were, what they were doing. It had no idea, it's like, oh, well, whatever. It's just, people made choices. Hopefully they were consenting adults. Right? I mean, not in my case. I didn't go there. I did not go there. But I realized it was like, no, it's not going to cut it, man. It's just not going to cut it. And I have had clients who have shared with me stories about their husbands who have become addicted to porn, and they have no interest in sex, intimacy, none. And it's become a huge deterrent to any kind of partnership that people can have. So that's where I'm coming from with it. I'm not coming from it from the place of, again, if you're over the age of consent and this is what you're going to do, is what you're going to do. And I'm not going to lay that big moral trip on those two people. I'm not going to say you're a sinner, you're going to go to hell. You got your own soul to deal with, far be it from me. But my position on it is that it's a wrecking ball for any kind of intimacy, real intimacy and emotion. And if there was anything that we needed to look at in terms of curbing or legislating, not even legislating, I don't know what you do with this now because the cat is out of the bag. I think the best thing you do is be a good parent and just tell your kids, stay away from this. Provide loving models of, two people together and show them what it's like to, just have a really solid family and real trust, real bonds. I think that's the only way, right at this point, we can kind of counteract some of this stuff. That's just my sense, my 2 cents. I mean, the other thing is you can turn off the internet. That would be another way of doing it. But we're so embedded into this thing now that it's very, very, very difficult. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the juxtaposition of this one level of what we call expression or freedom of expression versus another level of freedom of expression that is being tamped down, truncated, and in some cases completely locked up and inaccessible. So to that end, they had a big series of meetings on Capitol Hill talking about this very same issue. And one of the highlights or lowlights was Alex Jones confronting Marco Rubio. And, Marco Rubio is just trying to play him off, play him off, play him off, play him off, play him off. And Alex, who I think is sporting a new toupee. It looks like he's got a new toupee on. If you look at him from the side, it kind of goes like this. By the way, Elon Musk is wearing a toupee as well. His is better than Alex Jones. Maybe it's because he's a magnate and not a magnet. So, he was hassling Marco Rubio. He's trying to get his attention, and Marco Rubio is just unperturbed. He's doing his Marco Rubio thing. There's this phony plant, person just lobbing softball questions, which is what they're there to do. Alex is harassing him. And then Alex touches him on the shoulder. You can't do that. You cannot touch another person. And I know why he did it. Because he wanted to puncture Rubio. And that was a calculated risk on Alex Jones's part. He knew that if he was going to crack through the Rubio wall, that he'd have to touch him, and touch him lightly. It's a calculated risk. He took a risk, and he knew it. You could see the wheels turning in his head. And that got Rubio's attention. That knocked Rubio off of his center a little bit. He said, "Don't touch me, Alex, don't touch me." So he got what he wanted out of that moment. That was a risk reward. I think, he risks looking like a bully in the realm of public opinion, which is where everybody seems to be judged these days. But at the same time, he managed to sort of knock Rubio a little bit off of his feet and then have to deal with him. And you can see Rubio's bodyguards behind him. They were like, "Oh, shit. Do we have to jump in on this?" But by and large, you just don't do that. You don't touch another person, especially in a heated situation like that. Look what happened to that pastor in the bizarre Aretha Franklin funeral ritual deal. Put his arm around Ariana Grande, and it's a good thing he's a pastor. It's a good thing he's a brother, because if he was white, he wouldn't be working again. I mean, it's like, but I mean, that whole thing with Ariana Grande is ridiculous. I mean, she's wearing like a little frickin' cocktail dress, shaking her gospel booty. I mean, what are they thinking? And there's Bill Clinton behind her. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yeah. Speaking of high strange, there's a new remake coming out of A Star is Born. Originally, the first version was with Judy Garland. The second version was with Barbra Streisand. Anybody know who the third version is going to star? In 3, 2, 1, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is going to play the Barbra Streisand character in A Star is Born. Bradley Cooper will be playing the Chris Christopherson role. And guess who's in the movie? Dave Chappelle. David Chappelle is in the movie. He plays Bradley Cooper's manager, I think he's his manager. So much for not dancing with the Illuminati, David. I love Dave Chappelle. A lot of people don't think Dave Chappelle is Dave Chappelle anymore. I don't think so. I think Dave Chappelle is still Dave Chappelle. I don't know what happened to Dave, though. He knows what he's doing now. And Bradley Cooper, do you know Bradley Cooper speaks about 5 or 6 languages? Bradley Cooper, I believe, is a spy. He's a total spy. Star is Born. Lady Gaga, reinventing the brand. Her handlers have plans for her. It's going to be all grown up now. Singing with Tony Bennett. Doing the dive bar tour. Singing the national anthem. A Star is Born. There's a lot of investment in Lady Gaga, isn't there? I bet you Britney Spears said, "Why didn't they do that with me? Why didn't they do that with me?"